because I don't know whether it's red or black. Um, okay, folks, where we are now officially live on YouTube. Again, I do want to acknowledge the great work of Aaron Flanagan in my office and Caesar in the PIO's office. It sounds like someone may be on their phone and sometimes we get an echo, but welcome to College Council. My name is Ricky Shabazz. I have the honor and privilege of being the president of our great college, San Diego City College, and you are attending our bi-weekly College Council meeting. This is an opportunity for the leaders from our constituency groups to come together and discuss items that are of importance to the college. They range from making decisions to receiving updates. And as a matter of fact, we have our colleagues joining us from the various tutoring centers, and we know how important it is for us to support tutoring for our students, not only during this pandemic, but in general. I can tell you I would not have graduated college if it was not for the writing center and the math center. So I'm eagerly waiting to hear an update from our great faculty members, supervisors, classified folks, professionals who work in our respective tutoring centers. Also want to welcome to College Council, I believe his first meeting, Josh from Student Government. Josh is the governmental affairs officer. Josh, welcome to College Council. This meeting is being broadcast on YouTube Live, where we welcome the public, our colleagues from San Diego City College, to hear about the highest level of governance at our college. And so what we will do now is do roll call, and I'll begin doing that by sharing the College Council agenda. Yeah, my name is Ricky Shabazz, president of San Diego City College. Paul Alexander, president of the Academic Senate. And when I call your name, if you'll just unmute yourself and identify yourself, that way we know for the record who is here.
He wasn't feeling well and he might still be out today.
Yes, not a problem. Tilly Chavez, vice president of instruction.
Here.
Aaron Deddy, administrative representative.
Here.
Dean Robbie Ewell is on a much needed vacation, and I strongly encourage everyone to take a vacation who can and who has vacation time. This pandemic is weighing on all of us. So hopefully Robbie is somewhere safe and exciting, and we can't wait to hear back. And I hope he brings me a mug or something. Caesar, public information officer.
Present.
Jocelyn, supervisory, or what we call SPA representative.
Here.
Nadia, the president of the chairs of cabinet, chairs of chairs.
Here.
Josh, ASG representative.
Present.
Good to see you, Josh. I am so excited when we have students here. And so I can't tell you how excited I am that you are here. Love that picture in your background, and thank you for inviting us into your home, and the same to everyone else. Susan Murray, Dean of Institutional Effectiveness.
Present.
Masa, President-elect, Academic Senate.
Present.
John Parker, Vice President of Administrative Services.
Present.
Sean Ryan, Vice President of Classified Senate.
I'm present.
Denise, I hope, is not here because she has the greatest honor of being an Aspen Fellow, and this is the week where she is doing her professional development. If you all see Denise this week, tell her to enjoy the Aspen Fellows, and please don't come to any meetings, because if you have the opportunity of being selected one of a very few Aspen Fellows, you should get to enjoy the fullness of that. But we did see Denise earlier. Hopefully she is not in this meeting. And I think Aaron is doing double duty for our vice president of students. And so we know that Aaron is here. And I believe that that is everyone. Did I miss anyone? Hearing no one, I'd like to begin the meeting with item number 1, and I believe I am sharing the agenda, and that is, well, actually it's item number 2. No, it is item number 1, approval of the meeting notes from September 22nd. If someone would like to make a motion for approval of the minutes from September 22nd.
Park Eater moves to approve the minutes from September 22nd.
And Josh, I appreciate you doing that, but being that this is your first meeting, well, you can approve it. Yeah, okay. We've got a first by Josh. Would someone like to second it?
Jocelyn Hill, I second.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. All in favor of approving the meeting notes from September 22nd with Josh abstaining because he wasn't here, indicate so by saying aye.
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 Are there any others who need to abstain or that would like to oppose approval of the meeting minutes? Hearing none, motion carries. And I am looking for two of our guests. And so I'm going to stop sharing. And I happen to not see two of our guests joining us. Maybe they will join us at some point. We were expecting to have our new executive director / consultant for the San Diego City College Foundation and our board chair join us, Yin Tu and Gerald Ramsey. I do not see them with us at the moment. Hopefully they will find us. And in fact, I think what I will do is go to item 3 and turn it over to Aaron, who I wanted to provide us with an update on athletics. We know that athletics, as many people are greatly impacted by COVID and don't want to steal the update. So I'll turn it over to Aaron. And Aaron, I want to just publicly thank you for filling in and serving as the role of the athletic director. You're doing a superior job and we're lucky to have you. And what better place to work as the athletic director than the place that you yourself played baseball at one time. We haven't gotten together and shared baseball stories yet, but without further ado, I'd like to turn over to Aaron, and I'm going to turn my camera off so that I can reach out to our presenters.
Thank you very much, Ricky. So Ricky started to touch upon it with COVID. We had to postpone all of our athletic activities, any type of physical contact for the entire fall. Our governing commission is a CCCAA. They've actually put out a rule. We cannot meet with our recruits. We can't meet with our current athletes physically. It's a major infraction if we do. So everything this entire fall semester, we have 192 student athletes enrolled in our sports classes, staying connected to our coaches by Zoom. That's amazing, the dedication that is happening right now with our coaches and with our athletes, that they are throwing baseballs against mattresses. They are shooting hoops by jumping fences, allegedly, on the elementary school playgrounds to shoot a couple hoops. They're kicking soccer balls against walls. It's just amazing, the things that they are doing on their own. It's a very challenging time. And so we've been doing everything we can for our athletes, but it just mad props to them. We will be postponing till January in what they're going to be doing. I'm not sure if I have screen share abilities, but it's good to see this if I'm able to. Okay, so we have a schedule where we've taken everything and we've placed it into 6 months. So all of our fall sports are now the first half of the spring. The other half, our spring sports, have been pushed back. They're going to start in March and end in June 23rd. So you're seeing a very dramatic change. If you like sports, you want to come and watch some sports, this is going to be the most sporty season ever. 6 months straight of sports. I mean, it's going to be wild. We don't know what the details are on whether or not we're going to have fans, but we're working on broadcasting these games if we can through the internet. So let's hope for the best. And something I want to feature that came up from Ricky, and we're always looking for ways to improve our recognition of our athletes. And I'm presenting to you the Scholar Ballers San Diego City College Awards. Every semester, we'll be giving you an update to the campus telling everyone about the great things our athletes are doing. We have this beautiful new creation that was created by Kim LaRue, and we're going to be featuring our athletes in their academics. It's such a big deal. They're doing such a great job in academics, so expect to see a newsletter soon featuring our athletes, and a big thank you to Ricky, as he is just bringing new ideas to athletics to just really just put our arms around our athletes and show the love we have for them. So if I don't have any questions, I just want to say thank you for supporting Knights Athletics, and we can't wait till January and to be on the courts. That's our plan, and hopefully that happens.
Thank you, Aaron. Any questions? Any questions for Aaron about athletics or the impact of COVID on our athletes? Hearing none, let me say that as a former athlete and someone who is a huge supporter of athletics, colleges across the country are trying to figure out ways to support our athletes during COVID. We should know as an institution, our athletes are some of our best students from a number of levels. One, the number of units that they take, they have to be full-time students in order to play sports. Two, they have to maintain a certain GPA in order to play sports. And three, they need to maintain a certain GPA in order to transfer, as many of them desire to go play athletics at the next level, which for them is a 4-year university. So when you look at the success rates of our athletes, they tend to be higher than traditional students. And that's usually why, while maintaining a full load, while going to school, well, full load is going to school, while working, while going to practice. And so you talk about leaders and balance and very real world things that our athletes are going through. And I want to publicly thank you, Aaron, and all of our great coaches who are in fact mentors to our students. And I've seen many of the places that our students transfer to as a result of playing sports at San Diego City College. So Aaron, please extend my sincere appreciation to all of the athletes and to all of our coaches for the wonderful job that they do to support student success at San Diego City College. And as a matter of fact, what I would like to do, and we'll talk about this a little later, is we have these shirts. Thanks to Roxanne, Dr. Parker. What we're doing is trying to figure out ways to identify employees who go above and beyond. And Dr. Parker, if you could work with Aaron, I would like to send every one of our coaches one of these shirts for the role they play in supporting our athletes, not only during this pandemic, but during their work to help the students transfer to 4-year colleges. And so, Aaron, if you would get the names and the addresses for all the coaches and supply that to Dr. Parker, we'd like to get one of these shirts. And so what we're doing as a college is identifying, frankly, heroes, and trying to give a small token of appreciation to those folks who are going above and beyond the call of duty. In fact, we had a number of people on campus today. Kudos to Marciano and his entire team in student affairs, and every single person who volunteered for the Hunger Action Days today. This is social justice in action. And so Dr. Parker and Roxanne and the administrative services team made sure that every single person who volunteered today to come to campus and help distribute food to very deserving people receives one of these shirts. So if you want one of these shirts, show up to a Food Action Day, go above and beyond the call of duty. Now, every single employee at City College does this. I received an email from Denise Wisenhunt, our Vice President of Students, where a student thanked, I believe it was Susanna in financial aid, for going above and beyond and helping to resolve a problem. So we're just trying to do kudos to those folks on campus that our very own students are calling out as helping them weather this storm called a pandemic, COVID-19. And so, if you want one of these shirts, it is strictly being given out for folks who go above and beyond. And while we have our tutoring staff here, Dr. Parker, if you wouldn't mind connecting with Lance and Chris to make sure that they get one of these shirts, because they absolutely go above and beyond to make sure that our students are successful in their courses. I've been to both of those tutoring labs. They're very active places. And so, Chris, I didn't forget about you. I saw the look you were giving me. I go above and beyond. Absolutely. I know you do. And we appreciate all of the staff in the tutoring lounge. I call them tutoring lounge, the tutoring centers. And so with that said, I will actually, let me get the agenda back up.
And Ricky, this is Tilly. Tracy will be in about 10 minutes too. So John, let's not forget about Tracy Kaiser as well. I'll get you the names.
Could never forget about Tracy Kaiser. And again, it's a great partnership between instruction, student services, the English department, the math department, and then Lance helping with all of the other areas that we know that students need help, frankly, and I was one of them. And so I absolutely appreciate tutoring. We put an extra $100,000 in CARES funds into tutoring. Assuming that there's a second stimulus, we'll put some more resources. And you can never have enough tutoring. Let me say that the state just does not provide us with enough money to meet the demand of tutoring on campus. And with that said, I am going to turn it over to Chris, Lance, and then Tracy will join us at some point to go into the presentation. And so the floor is you all. I don't know if you had a PowerPoint. If you don't, there's no worries. But I'll turn it over to Chris and Lance.
Ricky, hi. Thank you very much. If we can postpone our introduction a little bit, because Tracy is supposed to be a moderator, and when she arrived, she will lead us in terms of presentation.
And
Sure.
Ricky, this is Erin. Tilly had timed it for 3 o'clock, so without the foundation folks being here, we're a little off. I don't know if you want to go to like agenda 5 and 6, and we can come back when Tracy arrives.
Absolutely, not a problem. Would love to do that. Not a problem. So we'll go to number 5, which is attending the campus board presentation. This Thursday is our annual board presentation. Please be there. It will be broadcast live on the district's YouTube page. Caesar, I don't know if there's a way to do it on our YouTube page as well, but it will definitely be on the district's YouTube page. We have presentations from the humanities or English department. Again, they're superstars. And I'm not just saying that because Chris is here. Like, they developed their own video, City Love. We have our Next Up program. We have updates from City Women Rock. We have a presentation from Dr. Parker, Roxanne, and Administrative Services, saying how essential all of our City College employees are. Am I forgetting one of the? Oh, and we have a presentation by the City Summer Academies. Suna and Maria Jose will be providing an update on the summer academies that we offer to help our faculty transition into this remote learning to ensure student success of our students. So please be there. We have a special presentation to our great chancellor, as this will be her last City College board meeting as the chancellor. And so Roxanne, Denise, and others got together, and we have a wonderful presentation to the chancellor, a token of appreciation for City College, and that she led efforts to rebuild what we now know as City College to the tune of about $160 million. And so we have a presentation. Would invite you all to join us this Thursday from 4 to 5 p.m. for our hour-long board presentation, the annual City College campus meeting that is happening via Zoom as a result of it. Any questions about the board meeting? So the participants will come in via the Zoom webinar feature, and everyone who would like to watch your colleagues present. It's a great honor to present in one of these board meetings. We have 5 programs. We've got an hour high-level overview of some of the great work going on at City College. If there are no questions, I'll go to number 6. And Number 6 is a land acknowledgement to the Kumeyaay Nation for the website. Caesar and I are working on a land acknowledgement. For those of us who may not know, San Diego City College sits on the land formerly inhabited by the great Kumeyaay Nation. They were the tribe in this area. They actually went all the way down into Mexico before there was a Mexico and before there was a border. But they in fact inhabited Balboa Park. And unfortunately, there was an atrocity when Balboa Park was expanded and built that called for the removal of the Kumeyaay Nation. And so it has become commonplace. And the first time I actually encountered a land acknowledgement was when I visited Australia, and it was very powerful to see the Australian government acknowledge that Australia was originally inhabited and still inhabited by the Aboriginal nation. And so many of our colleagues acknowledge the Kumeyaay Nation in our presentations at San Diego City College. And Caesar, I don't know if we had the acknowledgement prepared to share, or is that something we would need to bring to the next meeting? And I know you're saying something very profound, but you're on mute.
Yeah, I would like to share it with exec first, and then.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll put this back on the agenda. This will be a precursor to knowing what we would like to do is to formalize a land acknowledgement of the Kumeyaay Nation that will go on our website. And if you are so inclined, when we start a program, you may have seen me do this at commencement. You may have seen me do this at convocation. Normally when I start a meeting, and I'll probably do it for this meeting as well, is just acknowledge that San Diego City College lies on the land once formerly inhabited by the Kumeyaay Nation. And one small thing, well, really, I don't know that it was small. Actually, I thought it was pretty neat that I did a land acknowledgement during a meeting, and it just so happened that the chairman of the Kumeyaay Nation was in the meeting. It was very powerful to have him thank me for acknowledging that his tribe exists and that they thrived in this area long before those of us who live here now came into the area. And so we just like to be intentional about our commitment to social justice. That social justice in action is identifying that there were a group of people here prior to our college being built in its current location. With that said, I would like to formally introduce the executive director / consultant who is going to help our foundation grow. She's already hit the ground running. She's already met with some scholarships we are going to be announcing via Caesar at some point in the near future. What, Yin, 5 scholarships for Black students from an outside agency that would like to provide scholarships for our students. Yin 2 was selected about 2 months ago or so to serve as the executive director under a 1-year contract. Yin, welcome to San Diego City College. Welcome to College Council. Would you mind introducing yourself to those watching on YouTube and the rest of College Council?
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I apologize for being a little late, but I had 2 kids doing school at home. Sometimes that happens. But thank you again, Ricky, for that kind introduction. I'm very excited to be part of the San Diego City College family. I know some of you met some of you on the screen already, so I look forward to actually seeing some of you in person in the near future, please. I've been a consultant for many years, and so my background, I've been in nonprofit and community outreach, public relations type of arena, and has been in San Diego for, working in San Diego for 32 years or something like that. So practically native of San Diego. And my brother graduated from City College as well, and he moved on to UCSD from City College. So I've been in and out of the community college family for many years in my involvement in San Diego. And I look forward to working with all of you. If you have any question, I'll be happy to answer. City College as well, and he moved on to UCSD from City College.
Yes, thank you, Yin. And my apologies. I'm watching. I like to watch on YouTube at the same time to see if there are any questions and how many people are watching. But Yin has hit the ground running, and I'm impressed with her already. One of the goals that the foundation has for this year moving forward is to be more involved in the actual college, so that it's not this mystery of who's over the foundation, who's on the board. And so you'll see Yin and other members of our great foundation board whose main role is to provide additional financial resources to the college. Now, they mainly do that through scholarships, but there are other opportunities there. And so as someone who is new to our college, certainly she's knowledgeable, there is an opportunity for us to educate Yin on what your needs are and how she might be able to work with either people in the community, businesses, grants, to bring additional resources in the college. And let me just say and go on record of one of the goals that we've set for Yin and the foundation is to raise an additional $500,000. Now, Yin will need our help and our support to be able to do that. She's not doing this alone. We have about a 10-member board of trustees, foundation board, who all are going to help us. And in a future meeting, I'll reintroduce you all to someone who most of you know. You may have even been hired by him, but as our recently selected board chair for the foundation, Gerald Ramsey, former vice president, former dean, former director at San Diego City College. And so Yin, we totally understand that you have children in the house. That's one of the reasons I'm in the office today, because my children were using up all of the broadband, and I wanted to make sure I didn't get held up. So we're so happy. Any questions for Yin?
If I may piggyback on your comment regarding opportunities, I seriously, I would love to hear if there is any opportunity. Open any window, I will close it for us. I've been known to be a closure, so but I do need help to have some of these doors open. So if you think of a program that you need support in, like I said, I've been in this city for a long time and been around the block a few times. I love connecting great resources to the needs in our community. So.
Great. Again, welcome, Yin. Any questions? Maybe, Yin, you can put your email in the chat so that folks may have it if they need to get a hold of you. The foundation meets once a month on a Tuesday afternoon. I believe the third Tuesday of the month. I invite all of you to attend a foundation meeting if you haven't attended one. We are building a new foundation board that will be under the leadership of Yin and Gerald Ramsey, and super excited about what the future holds. Welcome, Yin. Glad you could be here. You're certainly free to get back to your children. It is that's even more important. I always say the most important job I have is not being the president, it's being the father to an 11-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old stepson. So enjoy the rest of your day.
I usually work from home, so they actually invaded my space. You get to run to an office. I wish that would be the case for me.
Yeah. Well, Yin, you have an office here that you're welcome to use.
That's right.
As we just even saw with Chris, my daughter is likely to come into my space, which is why I'm in my office right now. That makes it even more exciting. Thank you all, and thank you all for allowing us to come into your personal spaces. We realize that work and home has officially collided. Looks like Dr. Kaiser has joined us. It's so good to see you, Tracy. Welcome to College Council. I am going to turn it over to our team in the tutoring centers.
Yes, hello everyone. Thanks for having us today. I am going to get started. I will start off and then I'll pass on the torch to the rest of my teammates. Basically today, we just wanted to come here today and not talk about what we've done in the past, but talk about what we have been able to accomplish as a result of transitioning online. And in helping us do that, do I have sharing capabilities?
You certainly do. We'd love for you to share.
Okay, awesome. Okay. Okay. So as a result of transitioning online, there we go. Before I go into details on what we've been able to accomplish, I would be out of line if I didn't stop to thank the necessary parties involved for helping us with this transition. And that includes the following, but not limited to: administration, BSI, Title V, DSPS, and equity. What we have been able to do in a matter of a couple months is mind-blowing to me, but I am not surprised. I would like to especially thank Equity for providing not only the Math Center, but the other tutoring centers with tablets to help us be able to serve students online. Every single one of our tutors has access to their own tablet during this pandemic to be able to effectively tutor students. I am going to start by talking about the Math Center. I am director of the Math Center and also a math professor here at San Diego City College. And I am going to go into directly, we have a one-stop shop approach. So if a student were to visit a tutoring services page, they will be able to identify the Math Center, the Tutorial Center, as well as the English Center, all in one-stop shop. In addition to this, there is a tutoring center, a tutoring button inside Canvas. So for all faculty members, as well as anyone who has access to Canvas, you can activate that tutoring button into your Canvas shell. The moment students click on that, they will receive this page here. And that once that happens, they will be able to self-enroll into Canvas. So what that looks like, let's assume I'm a student and I want math tutoring at the Math Center specifically. If I click here on join for free, being that I am already a student, I see the option to actually go to the course directly. But for a new student, it will have a button here that says enroll in course. The nice thing about our Canvas shells is once students click on enroll in course, all they need to do is enter their personal unique information, as they normally would when they enroll into Canvas. The moment they do that, our course will appear on their dashboard. Now, again, these are courses in which I am actually teaching, but the whole point of this demonstration is to show you that the moment they do that, you will see a Math Center tutoring shell embedded in their Canvas. The nice thing about this is they only need to do this one time. The moment they are enrolled in our Canvas course shell, then they will be remained in that course shell for the length of the time that they're at City. So clicking on this course shell, we have detailed information. This is the same information they will see on our actual website. So let's assume they didn't go through the tutoring Canvas button. They can just Google City College Math Center and the same information will apply. And then they can self-enroll from the Math Center. As a result of the transition, we have extended our hours. So we are now open Monday through Thursday from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we've also extended our weekends to be open on Saturdays from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And once students, we changed our hours as a result of trying to serve more students, especially our evening students, our weekend students, students who may be working full time. We are trying to do what we can to serve them as well. And what our plans are for the future is to send out a survey before every semester to make sure these hours work, right? Maybe it works fine this semester, but the spring we may need to switch up our hours. So we are constantly evolving. If you scroll down here, we have different math learning pathways in which, based on which class students are taking, they can enter into these links. I'm not going to click on here for the sake of time. Each link will be directly take it to a Zoom account. They do not have to remember a username. They do not have to remember a password. Once they're enrolled in our Canvas shell, it takes care of the rest. So clicking on one of these links, they have access to our tutors. Now I'm going to go back to the original link. And I am going to pass the torch to Lance.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ricky and the College Council. Thank you for having us. We've been waiting to do this presentation to you for about a year. Finally, we are here, and
yes,
we appreciate all the support and all the hard work everybody's trying to get us here, and we are happy to share the information with you. As Tracy stated, that our 3 centers are working closely together to help our students, resulting in this kind of unified page where students can have access to all of the tutoring service from the 3 centers. For the tutorial center, we're also using the Canvas shell. It's similar to what the Math Center. Tracy, can you click for us, please? Okay. It's the same process. If the student is not enrolled in our shell yet, they can enroll in our shell through using their SCS ID and so far and so on. Since now Tracy is also has enrolled in our shell, so she's similar to the student, so she can get into our Canvas shell right away. Go ahead, click and go to the course. The same thing when you get when you click on that shell, you're gonna get into the Canvas shell. You're gonna see similar interface because it's a Canvas. Tutorial Center is very proud, and with other centers too, we've been serving students for so many years with so many great services. Even with the pandemic is going down, we may not be there face to face. We try to provide a virtual experience similar to what they had before. So the Tutorial Center here is providing in a lot of subjects besides except English and philosophy. For this semester, for the Canvas tutoring platform, we provide Arabic, biology, chemistry, communication, computer science, engineering, math, physics, and Spanish. So the hours here is from 10 to 6 and 10 to 2. That's what we try to do to meet the student needs. Again, our philosophy, our approach to tutoring is based on passion, our passion. We want to provide tutoring as a holistic experience. We want to provide them access. So the service that we are providing here are walk-in tutoring. In walk-in tutoring, our tutors are scheduled to be on the walk-in. And during the walk-in time, students can come and see students without any scheduling. However, if they need more help, they can schedule 1 hour appointment with us. So we provide also one-on-one appointments, so we can go deeper into the studying skill or into the challenge that students are facing. In addition to that, we also provide the supplemental instruction where students can come to work in a study group. We are collaborating with faculty in biology and math. We provide SI tutor in the classroom to organize the study group for the student. And that is really, really helpful. In addition to that, we also work with different group of students that belong to different organizations, EOPS, DSPS. So we try to adjust our services, adapt our service to the student needs within this virtual environment. And so far, we are making a lot of progress. And in addition to that, students can also take a look at the student resources that we have here. We have tons of information for students to access to in terms of in chemistry, math, also in the study skill as well. For us, I think our 3 centers, especially at the Tutorial Center, we believe in customer service. We believe that when the student coming in, the first impression they have of us is important. So we provide a virtual help desk. Can you scroll down a little bit? And on the virtual help desk, the student, faculty, or staff who come to our center can interact directly with our staff, via Zoom to ask questions or to guide them and to anything that they need or to schedule an appointment. So we strongly believe in that. If they cannot access to us during that time, they can also email us and we will get back to them within 24 hours. And what is also important for us is that we want to provide access to students while we are not available. So we provide additional tutoring platform we call e-tutoring, which is available in the subject that we cannot find the tutors here at the time we do not find the tutors. So we try to be very comprehensive and to have a student access and also for them to have a holistic experience by us collaborating with different programs, Umoja, EOPS, and Puente, and all those things. So we work with everybody. Again, thank you. And we hope to continue to serve students, adapt, and meet the needs of the student. And we're working closely with faculties and staff to bring more students. Especially right now, we just finished working with the new project with the Promise program to have a special tutoring for the Promise program. And we are very, very excited about that. Tracy, now I'm gonna pass on to Chris.
Thanks, Lance. Hey, everyone. Just like everyone said, I'm very thankful to be here with everyone, and to just have contact is good. So at the English Center, we tutor all the reading, writing, critical thinking on campus in all the classes across the curriculum. As you go into the English Center, and Tracy, you're welcome to click on it whenever, you'll notice similarities between the three centers, and that's on purpose because we work closely together. We want students to have a familiarity when they go to support services. So it's not sort of three different rides they take. It's once you go there, you have a general sense of the kind of services that you'll get. For us, it's a very busy place, and we wanted to make sure that we mirrored our sort of face-to-face services as much as we could online. So when we transitioned, we did everything we could as fast as we could to get everything online. And if you scroll down just a little bit, Tracy, you can see that we tried to create an environment where it's just simple and straightforward. You'll notice some of the same categories as the other centers. And once the students enrolled, they simply can click one of these buttons to do what they need to do. Our core of our service is being available. So if you watch our orientation video, which is on our website and on this page, you'll get a real sense of what it's like to come into the center. There is a Zoom lobby open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 6, and on Saturdays from 9 to 1. And by the way, Saturdays are really busy. We're seeing more and more that these alternative timelines are really important for our students. But yeah, so when you come in, you'll see a Zoom lobby, and the idea is you're greeted by tutors, actual people who can help you, and then we utilize breakout rooms just during our open hours. You can also submit on the English Center assignments for feedback, and that's a paper center. It's a 24 to 48 hour turnaround. Tutors will give feedback on a paper. They'll make a little video, so there's some live contact. And the great thing is, I think about the English Center, and as well as the other centers, is we have direct contact with faculty. We work really closely with the English department and other departments. So our tutors, who are also city students primarily, are really connected to the department, so they know what the assignments are all about. And it's very relational, even in the asynchronous manner. You know, when they get a paper from a student and they're writing comments, they're very aware of what that class is, what the instructor's expectations are, that kind of thing. We're also offering a lot of live workshops. One of the beauties of this is that they're also recorded. So we're developing a library of workshops that are available for all students, and we're also editing those into kind of, I don't know, flashier, more fun videos, like 2 minutes on a thesis statement, click here, you know, that kind of thing. So accessible for students. Also, quick questions students can ask, which typically are about, you know, how do I handle this tech issue in my English class? And we're able to get back to students as well there. And just a couple things to mention, you know, our SI program, for example, has been really, really interesting as we grow. Many sections of SI, and what we found is students need both. The embedded tutoring that comes with SI, we reach out to many classes that are historically challenged, that are data-driven in terms of what the needs are. And it's a more proactive way of tutoring to have tutors embedded in those classes. We also have that drop-in method. I think all three centers are working toward understanding the SI model and how to branch out using data to understand what principles and values we need to abide by to get into the right places with the right students. And I'll just add this, that we are proudly CRLA certified, which is a national, international organization. And I know that our team has worked really hard to get that status. And I think it reflects the hard work and the support of this campus, that we're able to serve so many students over the years. And even now we're seeing lots of students. So very thankful and very appreciative for this team and for this college. And I guess if we have time for questions, we're here.
Absolutely, and I would ask, job well done. I would ask Dr. Kaiser if you wouldn't mind stop sharing. That way we might be able to see each other. And are there any questions from our colleagues in the tutoring centers?
have a couple of questions. Thank you. Y'all did a fantastic job. Thank you for finally coming. I know it's been postponed a few times. So yes, we finally got you here. And Chris, I heard you talking about the embedded tutors with SI. And then I also heard Lance talking about the Promise and Saturday tutoring. So is that one, was that an opening saying there's still space for more tutoring that can occur on those offset times for those embedded areas? And I heard you say there's opportunities for students to drop in. We're trying to get but you know, sometimes you can offer everything and still can't get the students who need it the most, right? So I just thought I'd open that up just for a little bit of a discussion as well.
I can just start by saying, and I think others should answer too, just quickly, that
yes,
I think we're always looking for the best way to reach students. Susan's here, she knows this. Like, we're always looking at data, times, effectiveness, student success by course, by demographic, to see what works. So right now what we're seeing is Saturday's really popular, at least for English Center, Saturday popular. SIs are meeting with students in the evening. So we have to create supervision strategies for that. You know, so we're trying to be flexible, and we're learning that there really are a lot of opportunities. And, you know, given funding restrictions and issues, we're trying to see how to expand and how to really meet the needs of students. Tracy, yeah.
Yes, in addition to that, I think what better information to retain than from mouths of our students themselves. So as a result of that, we have created surveys for faculty and for students. So in addition to that, our tutors have done drop-in. We have to find a different way of outreaching. It's not the same as on campus, posting flyers, just walking over to a classroom. So as a result, we have been able to manage to drop into professors' classrooms to do a mini presentation. Our tutors are doing this. So they're doing outreach. Students are able to see a person, a live person on the other end of that screen to give them information regarding our services. And also, at the same time, just copy and paste the Canvas link on how to self-enroll right in the chat. So while the tutor is giving the presentation, students are clicking and self-enrolling into our services. That is one way we've been doing outreach. And then in addition to that, reaching out to professors to see when is a good time to drop in and visit their classrooms have been also helpful. And I just did a drop-in visit with Umoja, for example. I dropped in, I introduced myself. So again, they get to see who I am. It is totally different than walking into the physical math center. So I introduced myself as well as promoted the other services, right? We are a team, promoted the other services. And then I asked the students, what can we do to better serve you? Is there any gaps in our services? What do you need from us? Based on their feedback, we bring it back to the table. If we are not doing what's coming out of our students' mouths, then we revamp our services and we do it so we can meet our students' needs. So you will see more of this from us, physically going into these different spaces to hear feedback from the students themselves.
That's fantastic. Thank you. And I also wanted to point out the CRLA certification. So just for, because I've worked with that before, but just for my own knowledge and for everyone else's. So when we're trying to bring on new tutors, they still have to go through the CRLA certification with you, right? So it's not like, hey, Tilly wants to tutor for you. You just sign me up and I come on in. There is a process of onboarding. Is that correct?
That is correct. They have to go through the Education 100, except there's some exception. Let's say if they have a master's degree or a bachelor degree, we can make an exception. It's a case-by-case basis. Even though without CRLA is required that our tutor has to meet minimum standard in terms of training. That is a state law.
Yeah, we have a joint training program through Ed 100 that all tutors take, and then we have our individual training programs within our centers to make sure there's a quality level happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Just in case there's someone out there that wants to become a tutor for all of you, I thought I would ask that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say too that one thing that you really said, Chris, that's just always struck me is just how many of the students that are in our, many of the tutors that are in our centers are students, and it's such an extension of our culture at City and learning. And that for me, like the tutoring center has just been such a great way to learn about our campus and our culture. I just see that happening every day with students. And I think it feels like it's unique to City. I just think it's a great way to really learn about our college as a student. It's such an awesome opportunity, an extended opportunity for people.
And in addition to that, our students really reflect, and our tutors really reflect the demographic of our students. And that's important. For example, I'm pretty sure that at my center, our students speak about 20 some different languages. And I'm sure the other center is the same. So culturally speaking, they can relate to other students. And that makes a big difference in terms of feeling, building a relationship. So our philosophy, the Three Center, we've been working hard at this, saying that we are not transactional shop. We want to build relationship. When the student come in, I want you to feel good about being with us. I want you to feel good to come back and to work with our tutors. If you don't work well with this tutor, you can have another tutor. If you don't work well at this center, we can go to another center. If not, what else can we do for you? The SPS student, are you comfortable working in a tutorial center or the English center? No, it's too noisy. Where you want to go? You want to go to your lab? We will take our tutors over there and work with you in your lab because you have your equipment. So this is our philosophy, the approach, and I'm very proud that I'm working with two colleagues who are as passionate as I am in terms of helping our students to succeed. Because what happened here is just not about academics. What in here is the whole experience they have. For example, we have a student who start our physics tutoring. She start at Math 38, and now she's working on the PhD program at UC Santa Barbara. And I'm sure she emailed you, Dr. Shabazz. That is the kind of the student that is helping a program to grow, and because of the passion that they have and we have for them. I think this is really unique.
Well, you know, everything about our wonderful college is unique, and what you all presented today is absolutely in alignment with that uniqueness. And Dr. Kaiser, I wanted to make you aware of that. You'll be receiving one of these shirts because all of you in the tutoring centers are dope in the most positive way that someone can be dope. And so Dr. Parker, if you all would email Dr. Parker your preferred mailing address so that he can get you and your size. And let me say that these are unisex sizes. And so if you, I don't know if a medium really fits like a large or extra large is like a small, but we'd like to get you your preferred size so that we can recognize you all for the great work that you all do. Thank you all very much. And if there are no other questions, we'll move on with the agenda. Were you all done?
Excuse me, I do have a question.
Oh yes, go ahead, Josh.
Firstly, I want to thank all of you guys for showing up, your presenting, and all the hard work that you are doing. I'm really focused on outreach because you can have amazing resources, but if the students are not aware of those resources, it does no good. So I'm wondering on social media, are you coordinating with the outreach team at San Diego City College? What is your strategy to spreading awareness to the students of the available resources?
Go ahead.
We work closely with Caesar, and we work closely in terms of social media. I can say at the tutorial center, we start the Facebook pages, and we send out information to the student. And then we also piggyback on what the college social media is using as well. So there's a process of that. Luke, I think, kind of initiate that, and we kind of follow along with it, and it's pretty helpful. Yes, we are using social media. Thank you for bringing that up. That's one thing that we forgot. That is a new medium for us, but we luckily we have Luke who is really good at it, and then Caesar as well. So we were seeking their help, and then we are moving in that direction. Yes.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty certain, and you know, either the three of you could weigh in on this, but I'm pretty certain that every professor references the tutoring centers in their syllabus in the classes. But Josh, if you have a suggested way to promote I would love to know what that is,
was my
because I can tell you as a college president, there's not a single day that goes by that someone doesn't email me and say, I didn't know this or how. Matter of fact, I'm in my office today and 2 people have knocked on my door and I went to, open it and they said, hey, can you help me get to here, whatever. But, Josh, if you have a suggestion, you've got the 3 folks over the tutoring centers here. We would love to hear it.
Yeah, I would love to work with all of you guys. I'm actually a student ambassador at the outreach team. So I would like to coordinate with all of you guys because I think that we could make a lot more of an ambitious campaign. Specifically, Instagram is really big for students at San Diego City College. So utilizing that to the fullest extent. So yeah, I would love to, you can contact me, just jpocketer@sdccd.edu. But yeah, coordinating with the outreach team, I think, is the biggest thing that we can do, in my opinion.
I agree. And in addition to that, I think coordinating with other resources on campus, so CalWorks, even financial aid, other offices that are promoting and helping students directly, please share our link. Please promote the tutoring center because word of mouth does really spread. So it'll be great to not only have faculty members put in their syllabus, but maybe possibly if there's a space for you to kind of promote the math center, the tutoring center, the English center on your direct pages as well. That would be helpful.
And I would just add too that, Josh, I'd love, we meet almost every week. I mean, maybe a little bit less lately, but if you ever want to come hang out at our meeting, but we're so open to ideas and we would love to know more. It's hard to make tutoring exciting on Instagram, but it's true. We need to be doing it better and more, and we're interested in growing. And something I would just say to everyone too is we're really open to ideas. If people have some good ideas about things they'd like to see more of, or students are giving them feedback on, we're really open about that and ready to grow.
Well, thank you, everyone. Again, we are so very fortunate to have the 3 of you leading these efforts. And I can state publicly that if our elected officials at the federal level ever get their act together and pass a second stimulus, which technically I guess is the 4th one, we will absolutely earmark some additional funds for tutoring. I would not have graduated from college if I had not used the tutoring services. And I wish there was a way other than this stimulus to put more resources into tutoring with the limited budget that as a community college we have. But you all are absolutely using every cent of those funds to positively impact our students. So thank you all for the work that you all do. Please email Dr. Parker so that we can get you your t-shirt. Good to see you all. Be well.
Likewise, thank you.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So next on the agenda, and so for those that are watching and those on College Council, and certainly Josh as the new member, you should know that any member of College Council has, or the public, has an opportunity to work with their constituency leaders, which is what we are, to add an agenda item to College Council. So Josh, if there was a presentation or a discussion, or anyone watching on YouTube, you can get with any of these members that you see on College Council, or just email the president's office. We would love to be able to put an agenda item for future. We're always looking for presentations to bring attention to the great work that's going on at San Diego City College. And speaking of that great work, we heard from our students, Josh and others, about Wi-Fi. I probably receive at least 1 email a week, if not more, about why can't we open a computer lab. A lot of our students don't have computers. If they have computers, we recognize that a lot of students use the library and our computer labs on campus to access the internet. And while we would love to do that, what we have done is open a Wi-Fi lot. But even on that lot, not a lot of students have, I didn't have a car as a student. And so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Parker to provide an update on what we're working toward, which was a request from a student could we have spaces where people could come to the Wi-Fi lot and not be in their cars? And so Dr. Parker is working on a solution. Dr. Parker?
Yes, thank you, Ricky. Myself, Roxanne, Denise, we're working with facilities to assess various plans to identify places on campus and or the Wi-Fi parking lot to have seating or to implement add seating for students to have access to Wi-Fi or power. Right now, we're reviewing the logistics as there were a host of questions that I fielded regarding the security with our urban campus and the transient population, the end of daylight savings within the next couple of weeks. It's going to be dark early. Working with campus police to identify check-ins and patrols and whatnot, and probably some of the most prominent places where we feel will be safe with a little bit of exposure, enough Wi-Fi bandwidth, and power. So we're reviewing those now. We do have a couple of suggestions. One of them was right outside of the LRC, perhaps. Another one was using the old Child Development Center facilities, because it's a controlled environment. We'd be able to keep track of those who access that facility, and it's right across from the police station in terms of security and patrol. So we'll be following up with some recommendations and ideas of what we think will be a sound solution for providing access and seating for students to access Wi-Fi and power.
Any questions for Dr. Parker? Okay, well, hearing none, we are at the point in the meeting where I will open it up to either to any updates that members of College Council would like to provide to the group and to those watching live on YouTube, or if anyone has any questions for me as the president, I would be happy to answer them. If you would merely unmute yourself and either provide the update you'd like to share with College Council, or if there's a question for me or any other member of College Council, we'd love to be able to answer. Don't be shy. Is there a brave soul? Thank you, Tilly. Yes.
I think I'll just go ahead, and I visited the Health and Safety Committee last week, and I just wanted to chat a little bit about hard to convert classes for the spring, and you know, maybe just stifle some rumors, what people might have heard or not heard of what are we doing. Yes, we are mimicking a similar schedule for spring as what we've had in the fall. We are trying, but everything depends on the world. It's not what we can say one thing, but if the virus spikes again, then everyone always has to be prepared to go completely remote if that occurs. So we are looking at the different tiers of levels of having people come on campus as far as classes. So we have an essential level that the State Chancellor's Office has deemed certain classes as essential workers. And I'm working with those faculty. Then there's the next level in which we're trying to get programs to complete if they are just hanging out there waiting to be able to come in to do a lab or two or whatever it might be. Still using all the safety protocols that are given to us by our county health department and the CDC guidelines, et cetera, stuff like that. We are still closed. I have to keep reminding myself and everyone else the campus is still closed for that. We are also looking at other opportunities, and like Dr. Parker just spoke about, things that are outdoors. Those are safer, at a safer level of what we look at. And thank you today to everyone who helped with the hunger distribution. Those are types of things that can happen outdoors and that are trying to do it at a safety level. I just kind of wanted to bring that up, Ricky, and just make sure that people know that we're still working on those hard to convert, and didn't know if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, thank you, Tilly, and huge kudos, appreciation to our chairs, our deans, our classified professionals who are working around the clock to support our students in less than ideal situations, circumstances. Would we all like to be back in the office like I am today? Absolutely, we would. In fact, during the Hunger Action Days, Marciano and everyone who volunteered Many people volunteer just to see one another and to see us help our students. But I assure you that we are taking your health and safety at the core of whatever decision we make. We are using science. And while we would love to be back, that may or may not be the right thing to do from a scientific standpoint. We see evidence of places like San Diego State, recently this past weekend, Long Beach State opened too soon, and then hundreds, if not thousands of people have contracted this. We serve a student population that is at the highest risk of contracting this and passing it on. And we wouldn't want anyone to pass it on to their loved ones, to their students unknowingly, unintentionally. I myself have been tested 3 times because I don't want to be in the newspaper as a president who came to the campus and had COVID. This is a scientific matter. This is an airborne virus. You can't look at someone and tell whether or not they had COVID. And so we want to do what's in the best interest of people's health. We realize that learning remotely is not ideal. I'm teaching a class myself every Monday. Matter of fact, Tilly presented to my class, Denise presented to my class. And this past Monday, we welcomed Paul Alexander into my master's level class at the University of San Diego. And the topic of the class is, should schools open? And when we're looking at the available data, while many people who contract COVID will in fact survive, any loss of life is unfortunate. And we wouldn't want to be like the other colleges throughout the country that we've seen as an example that have in fact opened, only to close after people pass this airborne virus. We also know that science says that the best thing to do is in fact to quarantine with the same group of people, that when you bring other people into your environment, you're likely to come into contact with someone who has this. And so like Tilly mentioned, we are open though, right? We're open to people coming into their workspaces with a justification. We're open to people coming to their spaces to film, to teach the class out of their class. Whatever is in the best interest of students learning, taking into consideration health and safety first. And so there is a protocol in place with communicating with Dr. Parker's office to access the campus, communicating with your supervisor. We want to do whatever we can. And then lastly, we do have CARES funds available. $450,000 was allocated to instruction. Another $450,000 was allocated to student services. Another about $400,000 was allocated to facilities to support technology. And so if you have a need, somebody out there has a need and is bound to say, I didn't know. So I ask everyone who is listening today to share with your colleagues that if they need something, they should go to their supervisor, their manager, and let us know what they need. We just ordered, I believe, 100 laptops to support Puente, Umoja, and Hubu. We're in the process of ordering nearly $200,000 worth of microscopes to support chemistry. We do have resources available, no matter how limited they are, to support student learning in this remote COVID environment. So if you have a need and we can provide it, we'd like to know what that need is. And then lastly, your programs, divisions still have their normal budgets. We haven't reduced people's budgets. So if you have something, a need for a pencil and paper or ink cartridges, go through the normal supply ordering process. But please don't do this. Please don't go order something, then let us know. Let us know first, and let's go through the college's ordering process. We have a number of people who ordered laptops and computers, and unfortunately, we can't reimburse them for that because the college and the district has a requirement for technology, but we have laptops on site, we have computers on site, and in some instances, we have invited people to take their desktops. And so if you need something, please let us know. We want to see how we can support you in this remote environment as you continue to help our students. I do expect a second what amounts to a fourth stimulus to come through. And we want to build up those requests so that when additional funds come in, we can get those monies out and those items out in the hands. Now, there is a backlog of some of these things. And so we need to get in the pipeline to order these things because the vice presidents will tell you, and we agree, that we want to get things in the hands of our employees as quickly as possible. Tilly, you were going to chime in.
I was. I just want to go back to when you invited people they could come back or thinking about coming back on campus. I also welcome people to think out of the box. How you did it pre-COVID may never exist again, right? Because this is a new world of what we're facing. So before you think about how you want to do this, really think it through of what is needed, what's the outcome. We've had some requests that come through that people are forgetting that we're not open, and I can't open a class to have students come in and be in there. That's just not the process. So I'm asking for people to really be innovative, think how can we get this done in a different way? And I know that sometimes that pushes us like, this is all the only way I know. Ask somebody else. They have the other lens. They might be able to see something you can't. So I just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
No, thanks, Tilly. Any questions about COVID and opening? We will be largely online remote for intercession, and we will be largely online remote for spring, with the understanding that the chairs and faculty are working with Dottie, working with risk management, working with John and facilities. I would like to have things like theater and dance that can in fact be done outside with less than 10 students at a time, maybe rotating every other day and then streaming live so that some people are at home while some people are on campus. Assuming we see a decline in the transmission rate of this going into spring, we do have in our forming list of secondary level things that would be operated in hybrid. And Tilly is so absolutely correct. I do not see 30 people in a classroom occurring any time prior to fall 21. So let me get that out there. Questions that you all may have.
Dr. Shabazz?
Yes, sir.
I was under the impression that there is COVID-19 block grants, that funds that are still available that haven't been acquired. And I was under the impression that we can, or at least the student SBAs can create resolutions to acquire that funds. Is that correct?
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying, Josh. There are 3 levels of CARES funds out there. The first was the student funds, which the college administered about $1.4 million in the way of grants to students. The second is what we call or refer to as institutional CARES funds. That was the $450 that I said was divided between student services and instruction, and ultimately Dr. Parker and technology. Those funds are still being expended. The vice presidents are deciding how those funds go out based on their respective plans. And then the third set of funds is broken up into 2 areas, right? So it kind of gets confusing, but that was the block grant. The block grant is comprised of about $324,000 of federal block grant funds. Those funds have gone out. That's how I believe the tutoring received an extra $100,000. Those funds had to be expended by December of this year. So 1 block grant was federal. That 324 already went out, was earmarked. And if you want to know what they are, email me, I'll send it to you. But an example would be 100,000 was earmarked for tutoring. The second block grant is the state block grant. We are still waiting for clarity as to how that money, because all these block grants and CARES money comes with strings, bureaucracies, reporting. We are waiting to hear from the state how, in fact, the state block grant, what are the rules for that? We put out again through the vice presidents, the deans, the faculty chairs, a call for a request for resources. 200 of that 500 has been earmarked for microscopes for chemistry. It can be a tad bit hard to learn chemistry at home without the proper support. And so let me be clear, Josh, this money is ultimately going to students, whether it be in direct support of students, like providing them with a science kit, or to support the faculty who are teaching students in this remote environment. And so I don't know if that answers your question. There's approximately, Dr. Parker, correct me, there's approximately 500.
503,000.
Say it again, Dr. Parker?
503,000.
503,000 in the state block grant, of which 200,000 has already been earmarked for microscopes for science. Yeah, and Josh, so you know, all of these funds, so Dr. Parker is working with the vice presidents to put together, compile the request for the 500,000. We vote on every one of these. So the 1.6 million that went, actually 1.4 million that went out in institutional cares funds was voted on by this group. The 324,000 came, I think, 2 weeks ago, or excuse me, 2 meetings ago, which would have been 4 weeks ago, and voted on by this group. And the 500,000 will be voted on by this group. But we work off of a proposal process. And I can get you the data, but between last spring and the summer and the fall, we've administered over $2 million to students, both federal CARES funds and money that we raise independent of CARES.
Yeah, that definitely does answer a lot of my questions. I believe that the block grant was supposed to be designed to attribute or to care for underrepresented students. I was wondering, how is that being done and how so?
So again, I don't have any details on the state block grant. I'm waiting for that. The federal block grant merely said that it had to be spent by December on COVID related things that were not already budgeted for. And so when we saw our colleagues from tutoring, they got excited about the 100,000, as you could imagine, as we got excited. But that 100,000 has to be spent on tutoring that wasn't already budgeted for. Meaning they already had a budget for tutoring. They can't, what the term is called supplanting. They can't say, oh, I'm going to spend the block grant and not spend the money I was already allocated. And so what we should be doing and what these resources are required that we spend them on are things that were not already budgeted for, and or things that, well, really it's things that were not already budgeted for. And so nothing specific to various groups within the college.
Yeah, I'd like to add, Ricky, if I may, it's tantamount to the CARES funds, which cover eligible expenses as a result of significant changes in instructional delivery due to COVID. That's how they will be spent.
But like I said earlier, Josh, I announced in the meeting last week that we're going to spend some of Dr. Parker's allocation to the tune of about $120,000 or so to provide laptops to every student currently enrolled in Umoja, Puente, Hubu, who do not currently have a laptop. And that'll create a loaner program going forward that students who register in one of those 3 programs will have access to a laptop once those laptops arrive on campus. And we're able to do that because Dr. Parker and I, the college, received extra PPE from the federal government, so we didn't need to set aside those resources to buy PPE. And that's things like masks and plexiglass and that sort of thing. Because at some point, Josh, we've got to start preparing to come back to campus, realizing that we have to protect students and the employees from this airborne virus. Any other questions, folks? But certainly, Josh, if you would work with Aaron, I think we are looking for a day for me to come. And I actually believe, Dr. Parker, we asked you to work with ASG also to go give a presentation to ASG on the budget and how these things are transpiring. Because there is a lot of information out there. We'd love to be able to answer any questions that you all have. And much like the tutoring folks said, we'd like to also know if you all have suggestions. And Josh, there was, if I'm being frank, there was the request, well, why don't we just give all the money to the students? And the fact of the matter is, Josh, we have employees who don't have Wi-Fi at home, who don't have a new laptop. And so while it may, while it may be interesting that we're using some of these funds to supply the faculty, the classified professionals, if they don't have those tools, they won't be able to help students. So we found out that there's not only a digital divide amongst our students, there's a digital divide amongst the employees, because even if they took their desktop home, all of our desktops are Ethernet cord, right? We plug into a system. They're not Wi-Fi capable. So it wouldn't do any good to send the financial aid office person home with their desktop. They couldn't help. They needed a laptop themselves with a Wi-Fi hub. And so believe it or not, because we're a community college and we just don't have the budget of a San Diego State or UC San Diego or USD where I teach, we're finding we have to outfit our employees with the same things we're trying to provide for students. So we needed that 1.6, and frankly, we needed to $500,000 that's coming in the block grant. And frankly, we also were very happy that we raised to the tune of close to, well, between the 1.4 million we administered directly to students in CARES Act, we raised another $400,000+ that went out to students, right? So we are absolutely giving money to students. If there are no any other updates for the good of the order, folks? Well, hearing none, it's good to see you all, even if it's virtual. You all take care, and we will see you all again in 2 weeks for the next College Council meeting. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.